of the time, whenever Joe Rogan says something, I feel like I have to fact-check it, because he often exaggerates. But this time it turned out the opposite. What he said was actually true. And what surprised me was that I had only seen this in a fictional show like 30 Rock and thought it was just a joke. But no, it actually happened. Here's what went down. During the 1990s, the Air Force's Wright Lab submitted a proposal to the Pentagon. The purpose of this proposal was to create a non-lethal chemical weapon that could be dropped on enemy troops. This bomb would release pheromones that would make the soldiers sexually attracted to each other. In other words, the concept was that instead of fighting, the soldiers would be busy romancing each other, and their combat effectiveness would collapse. Now, as bizarre as this idea sounds, it's equally funny. But just imagine, what if this had actually happened? Instead of being demoralized, the enemy army might have become even more united. Like Joe Rogan said, imagine if they actually got stronger, more connected with each other, and then a super gay army was formed that fought even more motivated. My reaction was the same. Dude, this would have backfired completely. If you look at history, Spartans, samurai, and many other warriors had common homoerotic relationships, and they were still some of the greatest fighters of all time. So this Pentagon idea was pretty much destined to backfire. Now let's come to the fact check. First point, this bomb was never actually made. It only existed at the proposal stage. The Air Force requested about $7.5 million for research, but the Pentagon never approved it. Yes, it has been confirmed that the document was 100% genuine and that it was obtained in 2004 by a watchdog group through the Freedom of Information Act. So this wasn't some fabricated conspiracy. It was an official brainstorming idea. What's even more interesting is that this proposal later won the 2007 Ig Nobel Prize. That's the award given to absurd, funny or ridiculous scientific ideas. Basically, scientists around the world laughed and said this idea was so ridiculous that it deserved a comedy-level award. Now, the really funny part comes when you imagine this bomb going off accidentally in some big city. Like Rogan joked, imagine it dropped on Portland, and suddenly a new gay Viking army emerged from there. That visual is hilarious enough to make you burst out laughing. But on the other hand, it shows how governments sometimes have so many free resources that they can sit around brainstorming the weirdest ideas imaginable. In the end, the point is this. Yes, Rogan often says controversial things, but this time he deserves some credit. The fact he mentioned was actually correct, even if his presentation was a bit over the top. Still, it's a fascinating and hilarious reality that the US Air Force really did consider making a gay bomb. Now the big question is, if this bomb had been made, would it really have worked? Or would it just have been another wasteful flop idea funded by taxpayers' money? Personally, I don't think it could ever be practical. But as a thought experiment, it's so wild that even today people can't help but laugh when they hear about it.